feel similar. So we just gotta wait. People come in, and I'll see them come in.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching so I can make sure it goes well. Got one person watching. Hey, who's there? I'm testing. I see one person watch. Oh, that might be it. That might be me.
Okay.
That might be me.
Okay.
Hold up. Okay. So I just gotta wait for people to join.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hey y'all, who's there? Verify that you can hear me. 7. No sound. Okay, give me a minute. Can you hear me now? Oh, you hear me now. Hey Lisa. Hey Vivian. Okay, we'll give some time for some more people to join. I'm good, Vivian. How are you? I'm still in Cancun. It's our last night here. Let me see, make sure they can see. There you go. Hi, this is Nadia. We're going to talk today about luxury travel and everything else travel related, but I'm just waiting for some more people to join us. I know I switched the time on everybody. Hey, Venus, how you doing? Oh, you wearing Roja. That's that luxury. That's luxury fragrance right there. What resort are you at? I am at the Planet Hollywood Resort in Cancun, Mexico. And I did vlog all week, so I will edit that and send and post it next week. Yes, I am having fun. Yes, I am. It takes people time to jump in. How's everybody else doing? I know everybody's thinking I bought the Pat McGrath palette, but I haven't bought it yet. But don't worry, I'm going to buy it. And then I'll do a review on that palette as well. Hey, Osha. Hi. I was thinking about the PMG palette and you getting it. You read my mind. Yes, I'm going to get it. I promise you I will get it. But I've been here. I've been here and I'm trying not to shop online while I'm on vacation. I'm trying my best not to shop online while I was here. I will get it though. I promise you. All right, we're going to start and then people are going to come in. So I want to introduce my friend and my travel professional, my travel consultant. Her name is Nadia or Nadia. I call her Nadia, but anyway, either one, right, Nate?
Either one.
Okay. So a lot of times on my different lives and different videos, I talk a lot about, hey, shoe lady. I talk a lot about, luxury living. I talk about luxury makeup. You guys know I'm all about the things fancy and fabulous, right? But one of the things that I do talk a lot about is around traveling and making sure that you diversify your mindset, etc. So one of the things that comes up often, whether I'm talking on a live or if I'm talking in different areas or different people is, thinking they can't afford it, or having different types of, I'm going to say, urban legends and myths around travel and who it's really for, etc. So I said, you know what? Let me get the professional, because I'm a professional at a lot of things, right? But when it comes to travel, I give my everything over to Nadia. So I have a set of questions that I'm going to ask Nadia, and she's going to spend some time talking to you guys, and then I'm going to open it up for questions, because I'm sure you're going to have questions around travel, how to do certain things, etc. So the first thing I'm going to ask Nan, I'm all prepared, y'all. I got them written down and everything. Is briefly tell everyone about your background and how you began your career as a travel professional.
Hey, you guys, how are you? So, like Christine said, my name is Nadia. I am the owner and CEO of Travel with Sparkle. Travel with Sparkle is a small boutique travel agency. I am based in New Jersey, and I have 4 agents actually working under me. So I started off with travel just for the love of it, getting people together. Honestly, I'm a full-time ophthalmic nurse. Well, I was. I'm retired now, but I love to travel. My love was for travel, and I love getting people together. So I started off kind of doing what's called like friends and family reunions, and that was in 2007 was my first one. And from there, it just grew and grew and grew. And then, people were asking me after we came back from our group cruises, can you help me, with the package? Can you do this? Can you do that? Anything around travel. I wasn't a travel professional. So I started looking into it and doing it part-time. And one thing left to another, I started emerging more into the travel industry, going to conferences, learning about different resorts, different countries. And then I built my clientele so big that I was able to leave full-time and be a full-time travel agency owner. And the only regrets is I wish that I had done it sooner. So now I am a full-time entrepreneur. I own my own agency, like I said, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. A lot of people think it's a lot of fun and games, and it is. I love to travel, but it can be tiring also. But yeah, so that's how I got started.
So Vivian said, for a lot of Black women, this is the way. I do believe that owning your own and having, especially not even if you just own your own, but having residual income is very important. That way, when things like the pandemic hit, you have other revenues of income, because you never know what is going to happen, right? So that's one of the reasons, other than killing time during the pandemic, that I started the YouTube channel, is because it is very important. The one thing I will say is Nadia is the hardest working travel professional I've ever met in my life, because she has demanding clients. And right now, just so that you know, there's 41 of us here in Cancun, right? I've been on several, I think over the last, 8 years, I want to say, several vacations with Nadia. I have never had an issue. I have been, hey Kina, I have been to Dubai with her on group trips, Thailand, Morocco. We cruised Europe. And I mean, I have the utmost respect, because we can be a bit much when we all get together. I'm being very honest, y'all. We can turn up and we can turn out, and she keeps us in line and she keeps everybody together. So, she is the glue to it. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So what intrigued you most about traveling?
So what intrigued me? I will be very transparent and honest with you. I've never traveled as a child. Never.
Oh.
I did. So when I was growing up, I did car rides. We went to amusement parks. We went to, I never got on a plane with my parents until I was grown. I think that's what grew me to love, what I do, because I was intrigued with these places that I never been to, like seeing them on TV, looking at different, videos, more of TV, because back then it wasn't, any internet or anything like that, until later on when I was an adult. But, you know, the love for it came, I think it kind of was hereditary because my great grandmother traveled a lot. But as far as my household, we never traveled. And I just wanted, it's just something that I always dreamt of doing.
Okay.
And then when I became an adult, when I put myself in a position, I was able to travel. And then, wow, I mean, my first travel was a cruise, was a cruise to Bahamas. And I just loved it. Not only going to places that I've never been, right?
Right.
I saw blue water. I saw people of different
It's something
cultures.
about that blue water when you first see it, especially for those on the East Coast. Hey, Sheree, thanks for joining. There's something about it that is life changing. At least for me, it was as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then it became my therapy.
Yeah.
It became my therapy. Whenever I travel, even now, it keeps me insane. I will tell you, if I couldn't do it, I probably would lose my mind.
Okay.
Travel really is a therapy for me. And yeah, so that's how I, started, became intrigued with it. As a child, just looking at it and going my first place, and then I was hooked. It's like, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to see this, I want to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that Nadia and we talk a lot about is okay. So Venus said, I'm so glad you have her on here. I've been scared to travel as Black women out of the US. So we're going to let's talk about safety, and then we're going to talk about the finances of it all, because there's a lot of fear out there, and and Nadia can talk about that, especially even post-pandemic. Really, we're still in the pandemic,
We
right?
are.
So let's talk about that. So Nadia, talk about the safety part.
Right. Yeah. So my job as a true travel advisor, right? So during the pandemic I think people found that they actually, travel advisors do exist, and they leaned more on us to kind of figure things out than before, right? Because everybody was going to Expedia, everybody was going to Travelocity, but they had no one to direct them. And I think that during the pandemic was one of the times that people really saw the need for travel advisors. Mm-hmm. People that didn't know them or know of them, or it's just like, I can just book on my own. And safety is important. But that being said, is during the pandemic, just like now, by using a travel advisor as myself, I knew all the protocols. Like, this is something that I studied inside and out. I am in touch with every single tourist board that I send my clients to. So from that on, we have emails that come through. I mean, I can tell the day before they lifted the ban for people to come back into the USA without a COVID test, travel advisors were the first person to know.
Right.
Yeah. And the safety, of different countries. And, I go to conferences, I sit with the tourist board, I sit with hotels, and we talk about those things, and we learn those things. And, I have a lot of people that say Mexico's not safe.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. And I, that when Nadia started advertising through, her Instagram, which is Travel with Sparkle. And she has a website, www.travelwithsparkle.com, and so is her Facebook page, Travel with Sparkle. And y'all know we like sparkle on this channel. So, all things sparkling. So that's a very easy page to remember. But, one of the things that come up is worrying about people, getting taken and human trafficking and different things like that. And one of the things that I know Nadia does is she doesn't send you anywhere she hasn't been. right? She tries her best to never do that. She can pick, she'll tell you right now, don't go to that resort. I've been there. This is what really happens, you know. Don't go by just what TripAdvisor tells you, right? Or what the reviews on Yelp tells you. You know, we use the internet for so much, right? That we have it making decisions for us more than us seeking counsel in an actual human being, right? So, you know, even during the pandemic, I mean, you ended up, I think you went to Dubai like in 2020 or early 2021. Like you went, she's a Dubai expert as well. So she's an expert in travel to certain places as well. Dubai is one of those places. And I think you went like 3 or 4 times in 2021 with groups, alone, things of that nature. And people weren't ready to get on a plane, worried about you. And granted, I'm not diminishing the feeling of COVID, but she did it anyway, right? Because one of the things that I like the fact that NADIA does is she actually is learning at the same time. So she's going to be able to set you up with the right packages, to have the right tours, so that you're not in a place with nothing to do. And then, which happened to a friend of mine, they came to Cancun, they went off the resort without going through the hotel or reputable tour guide, and they almost got robbed, right? So those are the things that I lean on. They did. I don't do anything but pay the bill. I'm gonna be honest with you. Other than that, I just step aside and let her do everything else, right? And I think that's part of the purpose of a good, reputable travel professional, in my opinion.
Yeah. So for instance, in 2020, during the middle of the pandemic, this is 2021, I was one of the first Americans to go to Dubai during the pandemic. The Dubai Tourist Board invited me. And at this point, I didn't have no income. You know, the tourism got hit really hard because of COVID, because everything came to a shut. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go and see the countries that are open. There were only certain countries that were open. And during that time, it was actually Mexico and then Dubai. And I had a group that was supposed to depart for Dubai in October of 2020. We weren't able to do it. But at the end of that year, I decided, I got picked and decided to go and seek it out. And when I went, I was intrigued and amazed how well the UAE handled COVID during that time. So what I did was I went back to my group and I said, you know, guys, they were ready to travel. I said, I just went to Dubai and I think it's safe enough for you to go. And these are the things that they have. We know it's still COVID. You know, you have to take a test. You know, they had human washing machines, I call it. Like, I mean, they just had everything down pat. So that was in October. That May of 2021, they said it's a go. We went, and you know, that was the time that I had a client of mine who actually is a celebrity come on the trip with us, and she decided to do her renewal of vows in Dubai. So I went from having 20 couples to 102 people going with me to Dubai during that time and taping a reality show.
Yep.
And that was only because I went there and I seeked it out and I saw how well the country, you know, performed and maintained during COVID. So, yeah.
So you know, Venus and the rest of and anybody watching, even watching the replay, I will encourage you to you know, seek out NADIA. I know a lot of you said, okay, I went and followed. Great. Tell your friends, family, everybody else, because there are a ton of group trips that are on there. We'll talk about that a little later. But you know, you want someone that has walked the walk, right? They're going around. They understand the property. Like the property we're at now, NADIA had already seen. She knew what my rooms looked like, the rooms looked like, where they were. She understood the layout of the land, and it passed her test, which is a strict test, before she brought everybody, 41 of us, here, right? I have my daughter with me, and everything else. And you know, we want our kids safe, right? We want to be safe ourselves. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the money part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the other things that tend to come up is, well, I can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
or luxury travel. And I'm going to talk specifically for right now about luxury, right? We talk about luxury purchases. Our palettes cost $100, right? That palette that y'all waited for me to review is $130, right? So, and you guys know I have 10 of them already. So at the end of the day, that's $1,000 in makeup compared, you know. So let's put it in perspective for a minute and say luxury travel. Is it affordable for the majority? I know everybody, I'll just say the majority.
Mm-hmm. So it can be.
Okay.
And the way that I do it, and I mean that I set up my agency, is for everyone. One of our mission statements is that we want everyone to be able to travel with us. With that being said, is I give payment plans, non-interest payment plans to all my clients.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I will put out a trip at least a year or more in advance, and it'll allow people to pay a monthly fee, and to be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, you know, you may have to sacrifice some things.
Yep.
You know, some people are on a fixed income,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, they only make a certain amount of money, but you may not be, you know, that you may not, you have to give up something, should I say.
Right. It's a trade-off.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So you know, if you go to the club every other week or every 2 weeks, don't buy that bottle of champagne.
Right.
Take that $150
Right.
and put it on your down payment for your trip.
Or you can do something as simple as, and I'll give you guys an example. So NADIA is having and it's sold out, y'all. Before y'all go to the website, it's already sold out, but I'm going. So anyway, she is having a luxury yacht cruise through Croatia next July. Is it July?
July. Yeah.
Right. And so I booked it in May of this year, and it's in July. The payments are $345 a month. So when you think about that, and we think about how much we spend on makeup, fragrance, etc., $345 is not a tall feat. It's really not. $345.50. I don't think the airfare is included.
The airfare is not
Right.
included.
It's just a cruise. However,
You have a balcony.
I do. I have the top.
She has the top of the line. So
Y'all know how I
$345
do, right?
for the top of the line.
Right. So wait. So my $350 a month is for the top of the line get cabin. Absolutely. So she's absolutely right. However, what do I trade off for that? Okay. I'm not buying an extra 2 bottles of perfume every month. Or for those of you that are coffee drinkers that don't make it at home like I do, I make mine on a Keurig and save myself hundreds of dollars, right? If you are into Starbucks and you spend $7 a day on one drink, you think about it, that's your whole trip right there, right? So it's about what you want to do. Maybe you invest in a Keurig and you don't buy that latte, or you don't do this, or if you're a moviegoer, I choose to wait for it to come out on Netflix, HBO Max, or whatever. I don't go to the movies, right? So there's certain things. I don't eat out a lot either. I stopped eating out a lot because I got a bill. I call it the NADIA bill. So I got the NADIA bill that I have to pay, but it allows me and my child, right, to see the world, right? So he said, I absolutely, hey, Mo, I didn't see you come in. You absolutely cannot give up my weekly or semi-weekly TJ Maxx runs. So, but let's say you say, okay, I'm going to go, but I'm going to cap out at $25, or $50, and, whatever it is, there's a way, right? Because people look, even this room, and you'll see this room in the vlog, it's a nice room. It's 1,200 square feet of room. And I have, 2 cabanas and all that other stuff. But my bill was reasonable. You know what I mean? And I wanted to make sure, and I asked NADIA to do this, to share with you guys that we're not millionaires yet. I'll put the yet out there. It's coming. But we're not millionaires. But it's a trade-off. Everything with economics is always going to be a trade-off, but it's well worth it, because you can't, yes, 1,200 square feet, 1,200 whole square, there's somebody's apartment up in here, or house for that matter. You got a ranch style house up in here. And then I'm reading, do you do only, no, says, do you do only group trips?
Oh, no. I don't do only group trips. And that's a great question. And I thought about only doing group trips, but when COVID hit, groups, there were no group trips.
Right.
This is actually one of our second group trips since COVID. And I usually have much more. I have 41 people, but 41 people for me, for our friends and family, is a low number. We had other people, some people dropped out because of passport issues, because the passport agency is still delayed with getting renewals. And some people just weren't ready to travel, and that's okay right now because we're still going through COVID. But I don't just do group travel. I do individual travel, and I am one of the agents that actually charge. And I will tell you why. I charge a fee, especially for the new people, new clients that just started working with me. But I have agents under me that work with me, and it's for free. So, I'm a service-based, company. I am an expert, and people pay for my wealth of knowledge.
Yep. Yep.
So I had to start implementing a fee during COVID. You have to realize that for like a year and a half, I really didn't have any income. And then after I got on Instagram, I had an overflow of people wanting me to book their trips. And I sat there for hours doing quotes for people that I didn't know. And I found out like some people did not book the trip. So I was working for free.
Right.
So now I close 90% of the people, if they are serious about traveling, if they done their homework, they research me, they will find me of value, and they book me. And then once we have a relationship, like Christine can come to me at any time.
And I do.
And say, can you give me quotes? And I give it to her for no reason, because not no reason, with no problem. I don't ask for money charging her, because I know she travels with me and she's, serious about traveling. So when you develop a relationship with me, you don't have to worry about that. For first time people,
it's a lot of work, right? I see, Nate, one of the things that I will tell you, is whenever we're gone, we're away, like this trip, NADIA was really only on vacation for like 2 out of the 7 days we've been here, because we took an excursion as a group. She had to make sure the bus was on time. It's a 2-hour ride to the excursion. She had to make sure, and her own family is here, and she had to make sure that she's, balancing us and our needs, our wants, our this, our that. And, are you good? What's wrong? And then, talking to the hotel and saying this person that hasn't had washcloths in 2 days.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then I'm sitting here like, yo, I got like 8 of them. So I don't know what's wrong. So, those are the things like she's here for us doing, right? It's a lot of work that goes into planning a trip. Before I met NADIA, I used to plan my own trips. And I'm very, as y'all probably know, very organized, very anal. I had spreadsheets, and I could tell you when this restaurants were going to have. I didn't have to worry about any of it. She had dinner planned for us every single night. We could choose to go or we could choose not to, but you didn't have to worry. You were going to get the experience of most of the restaurants that were here, and then it was all of us together. That is what you're paying for. There we go. Okay. So the plan, right? I know I'm going in and out, y'all, but that's because we doing this on CANCUN Wi-Fi up in here. So forgive us. So one of the things, though, now I know I mentioned it, but why do you choose to visit every resort that you book?
Yeah. So I think it's very important for me to visit every destination, every resort that I recommend to my clients, because that's what makes me valuable, right? Anybody can go on the internet and read reviews, you know? And me, I have to, yes, I want to see the room, I want to see the actual resort, and I want to build relationships with the people that are here. So the time that we've been here, I had my WhatsApp all through the night. I had the general manager, the reservations manager, Nacho, our butler.
Yes, we have a butler. Don't
Don't
judge.
I had like 4 people that anytime when my group was here, if they had any complaints, or washcloths were a commodity. I will be honest with you, things don't always run smoothly, but I make sure that housekeeping brought washcloths for my group. So I think it's important that I see the resort, to develop a relationship with the resort, and to see the rooms. I don't want my clients to go into a vacation blindly. So, I have to feel it. Like before I came to this resort in January, I was at 3 other hotels, resorts, and this one, it had everything that we needed for friends and family. So it kind of won over all the other resorts. But I need to have that relationship, and I need to feel like this is a great, they're great rooms, the service is good, the food is good.
Oh, we're frozen. We're still frozen.
Oh, okay.
We don't look frozen, but they're saying we're frozen.
Oh, okay, got it. We're still frozen. Still frozen.
But we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll keep talking. Hopefully it'll unfreeze.
Yeah, we're in Mexico, so Wi-Fi is not strong here.
Okay. So as long as you can hear us, let us know if we become unfrozen. I'm gonna check myself. But yeah, okay. So no, we're still frozen.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to open it up for questions at this time. It's cool as long as we can hear you. Last thing before we open it up for questions is children travel. So you take your children are well traveled, mine is as well. What are the benefits for children that travel?
Education.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Bringing your children to another. That's why I think it was important that, honestly, I wanted the kids to go to our excursion, because we're here at a resort, but like the excursion that we did, it was a cultural also experience where they got to see the Mayan culture and true, Mexican experience outside of being on the resort. And I think that I wish more children would have the opportunity. And that's something in the future that I'm going to do is, team or maybe start a nonprofit organization to bring some urban kids outside of their city, their state. I definitely, travel is definitely a form of education. Whether you're sitting by the pool, looking at blue water, or you are in Africa, Masamara, doing a safari.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree. I can tell you that for my daughter, being able to see different cultures, being able to eat different foods, see different shows. Like you said, we saw the other authentic Mexican show the other day. Those things, she's able to become a better human being, because she respects other people's cultures, right? And even as African Americans, we look for that. We look for people to respect us, right? And our cultures, and things of that nature. I think it's only right that we learn other cultures as well, and everyone kind of become a true melting pot. We say it a lot, but we don't actually put it into action. And I think it also prepares them for work in life. You know what I mean? Because they'll be able to say, I've done this. I've been here, right? I've experienced this. I think it says a lot. So,
Life lessons.
yes, yes. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but travel expands the mind. Absolutely, Vivian. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, see that popped up, but we're just frozen. Okay, so now we're gonna see if anybody has any questions for Nadia before we close out. Since we're frozen here. What is your top destination place you prefer?
It's a good question. I mean, I guess it depends on what type of trip I'm taking. And I'll say it to say this. I love Mexico. I love Mexico. And there's so many different parts of Mexico. But that's like a trip usually I go to where I just want to go lay out in the sun, and relax. But I love Morocco. I loved all the culture differences that we saw to Morocco. So I don't know if I have one favorite destination though right now. I mean, it's so many.
What about you went to Bali and Singapore and
Yeah. I think that I really love Thailand.
I did too.
I really
think
enjoyed
that was my
Thailand.
favorite trip.
Yeah, I think
That was my
Thailand.
favorite trip.
Yeah, but then I love going to Ghana to learn about
Right.
my history,
Right.
and where we came from and what we endured. Like that was just mind blowing to me,
Okay.
So yeah.
So what's the trickiest travel challenge you face? What was your solution? That's a good one. Okay, look at Venus and Vivian. They come with the question.
Trickiest travel challenge you faced? I would say during COVID. And I would say that I had multiple groups planned I thought 2019 was a great year for me financially for my business. And I wanted to mock some of the things that we did, like the Friends and Family Mediterranean cruise. And I just knew that 2020 was going to be the best year ever. And then COVID hit. And the challenge was to be able to sustain financially. And then also, I think for me to explain to people that, we had a Greece trip planned.
Yeah.
And I had to reschedule it. And then I rescheduled it. And I had to tell people that the cruise company was not giving them back money.
Yeah. That's a true story right there, because I was one of the people that they didn't want to get their money back to.
Yes. So what was the solution? At that point, there was no solution except to be honest and transparent with people and tell them that, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I guess it was a solution because right now, people can't travel with me. Well, they can, but I recommend travel insurance, which a lot of people didn't have during that time. So they couldn't put a claim in because the cruise company held my entire group's money. So during 2020, we were supposed to go on a cruise in 2021. It didn't happen. And I could not refund the entire group. And I had over 70 cabins. So 70 times 2 is 140 people. And that was a big challenge for me that I had to face. I felt incredibly horrible. I had to remind myself that it wasn't my fault that this was happening. And I had to, just be honest with people and tell them what it was and constantly stay on the cruise line. And people, we couldn't go in 2020 and they wouldn't give people back a refund until
the end of 2021.
The end of 2021.
So that yep.
So
that was crazy.
People just got a refund back in January of 2022 for a cruise that we were supposed to do in 2020.
Yeah.
That right there was a really big challenge for me.
I'll tell you, because I was one of the people that was supposed to go on the cruise, and when we rescheduled, I couldn't do it. So I said, you know what, I'll take the refund. And then she said, listen, Chris, you're not gonna get your refund to the end of next year. I said, I'm sorry. I think I must have said, I think you typed the wrong year in this text.
Yep.
She said, no, you're gonna get it back at the end of 2021. I said, what the hell? I said, okay, because honestly, I trust me. I know she's not gonna take any money. I knew it was a pandemic, right? So I mean, people were holding money, people doing whatever tricks they want to do, but she got every dime of our money. I mean, every single dime of our money back. Because she ended up canceling the whole cruise, right?
I did. I didn't like the
yeah.
way that. So it's not all about money to me. I could have easily. I had 140 people go, and I had 70 cabins. That's a lot of money in commission for me to lose. But the integrity, my integrity of myself and my company, I couldn't continue to work with this cruise company because of the way that they treated my clients.
Yeah.
And so from there on, I just said, I'm not in business with you. I want you to refund everyone's money. And they did. And I actually had them get on a Zoom with us. I wanted people to hear it from them.
Right.
What was really going on.
Yeah.
And if they had any questions, they could directly ask the cruise line.
Right.
And so that was very challenging for me. And not to remind you that a lot of people closed their doors during COVID, and there was a lot of agencies who clients did not get back a lot of money during that time.
I remember.
Yeah. So they took a loss. And that was my fear, that the cruise company would go bankrupt. And once you go bankrupt, that's it.
Right.
You cannot, there's no money to give.
Right.
And so I had to make an executive decision. Either we stay with them or you just close everything down. And I decided to close it down. I know we all talked about it on this trip. Everybody wanted to go to Greece. We posted.
And we still do.
Yes. But I didn't feel in my heart it was the best thing to do.
Yep. Okay. We have another question. So Venus asks, what's the best time to travel, and do you do couple travel plans? I think, well, you do all travel plans.
Yeah, I do all travel plans.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I have a couple's trip going to Dubai this year, and we're going to do more. And it's so,
and
you
Dubai
know,
and the Maldives, yes?
Dubai and the Maldives, yeah, for October. And I think I have 22. I have 12 couples going, so it's a total of 24 of us, 22 people, and 24 including myself. Yeah, and David. And the best season to travel depends on the country. For instance, right now we are in summer, and in South Africa it is their winter. In Kenya it is their winter. So it also depends on what type of traveling and why you're traveling there, right? So if you go to the Kenya right now, it is their winter, right? But it is also the season for migration of the wildebeest. So it's winter there. If you are into seeing animals and you want to see the great migration of the wildebeest, this is the perfect time to go, right? But so it also depends. Right now, we are honestly in the middle of hurricane season for the Caribbean.
Right.
So during the summer months, usually it's not the best time to go to the Caribbean. You have to be careful. Usually things pick up the end of August, September, October for the Caribbean. Where else? People, you have to, you go to Europe. Europe gets cold. So I also asked during my consultation with my clients, what are you trying to achieve? What do you want to do when you travel at the destinations that you're picking to travel? For instance, if you go to Paris, I just had a conversation with one of the girls here. She wants to go to Paris in February. We were talking about this with Maya, and it's going to be cold. If you don't mind going to Paris and doing some of the tourist attractions there during the winter time, it's good for you. But some people want to travel during the summertime when things is much warmer. So it depends on the destination that you're traveling to, and it depends on what you want to do when you get there. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Nadia before we close out? So I will say that this is not going to be the first time that Nadia is on, right? So we're gonna when we're home in this stable Wi-Fi environment, I will invite Nadia back on, and yes, she's located in the East Coast, being that she's actually not too far from me. She's on the East Coast, but it doesn't matter where you are. She can be a trip. You can not. You don't even have to be U.S. She can book your trip. But she is in the East Coast, and like I said, she's been, you know, basically my sole travel person or travel consultant for almost a decade, and I trust her. I mean, literally, I just sent a picture of my card. Like, here's the card. Stop asking. Here it is. So just keep it with you. She like, I'm not keeping your card on. Like, come on, that's dangerous. But seriously, like, you need somebody that you're gonna trust with your money, right? And that you trust to send you and your child and your family, on vacations. And I think I can be making a good decision, and she'll say, no, Chris, you can't do that. You just can't. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you might be right? So I just, for those of you that already started following her, great. Let your friends know. But again, we're gonna come on. Don't forget, even if it's after this video, or this live, and you come back to the video, if you have other questions for Nadia, put them in the comments. And what I'll do is, after I get a lot of them, um, I will have her come back on and answer some travel questions as well. You said, I am following now. Yes, that's good. Please come back on after you ladies enjoy your vacation. Well, we go home tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our vacation's over. It's over, honey. We go back tomorrow. What is the youngest you've had on any trips? What is the youngest?
I had babies. I mean, you had to be like 6 months older to cruise, but we've had infants.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my daughter started cruising when she was very young.
Yeah.
So it depends on the type of cruise, what type of vacation also. The age group. And then some vacations that we do as a group are for family, for kids, and then we have just solely for adults. But I think the youngest is about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she has done a lot. I mean, I don't know how she did. I'll tell you guys that on our Mediterranean cruise, it was 150 something of us on that cruise. It was 100, and it was not it was a 7-day cruise, but we spent 2 days in Spain first and another day or two after in Spain. It was a long time to deal with 150 of us. It was a very, very long time. I was like, I don't know how she's doing this, but yes, she can. She has done it. As Kina, your 3-year-old can travel wherever you would like her to with you. Hey, Sansaray, good to see you. So again, write down or post your comments or questions you may have for Nadia around travel. I will invite her back. I will invite her back, and we will have this travel series. And then once I get Nada open her own YouTube channel, y'all gonna go for her there. But listen, I hope everybody is doing well on this Saturday. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned. I'm gonna see everybody in the next video. All right. Bye. Thanks, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, Chris.
No problem.
All
right, y'all. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.